Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Aaron. This is the Weston Tobacco Connecticut Shade 5x50 Robusto, and you're watching 24 Outdoors Cigar Review channel. Stick around. Welcome back everybody, I'm Aaron. Today we're going to be reviewing the Weston Tobacco Connecticut Shade 5x50 Robusto. So let me tell you about this. I have a friend that lives in Weston, Missouri. Come to find out that there's actually a tobacco or a cigar manufacturer in Weston, and they have their own brick and mortar set up. So he went over, found some cigars, and sent them over for us to review. I have this one, and I have a Maduro as well that we're going to review. But we're going to start off with the Connecticut Shade. So from what I read about these guys is it's a father and son. They started off with very minimal money and very minimal supplies. The son learned how to roll cigars from an old lady in Austin, Texas that works for Romeo and Juliet cigars. And the father drove up to Sturgis with next to no money and pretty much made enough money selling their cigars at Sturgis at the big bike rally to afford to start this thing and keep it going. Now they have a brick and mortar in Weston, Missouri, which is really cool, and I'm going to leave a link in the description below for you guys to go and check them out and give them a call. Follow them on Facebook, check them out on Instagram as well. Now, just so you know, I'm not paid for this. I don't get any free product for this. This is an honest to goodness review. And if the cigars are crap, I'm going to tell you that they're crap. But I really, really like their story, how they started out from literally nothing and now have an active cigar manufacturer. So pumped about that. It's really cool. Nevertheless, let's get into the review. So this is the Connecticut Shade. They have a handful of cigars. This is one that was sent to me. The Connecticut Shade, it is a 5x50 Robusto. And from what I can tell, it's a fairly decently manufactured cigar. It's not seamless by any means, as is pretty much any of the premium cigars that I smoke are not seamless. They do have a few veins running through them, which is not a deal breaker for me, as you guys know. I'm cool with that. As long as it tastes good and it smokes good, it's not a big deal to me. It appears to be a triple cap, which is really great for the price point on this. I believe they're coming in right around $6 a cigar at their brick and mortar, so that's not overly too bad for a decent cigar. It is complete long filler, and as I read here, it is the wrapper is Connecticut, obviously. The binder is Habano Condega, and filler is Estali and Condega, which are two of the regions in Nicaragua, two of the manufacturing regions for the tobacco, the Estali and Condega. So they have, it's a Nicaraguan cigar, so that's just where the grow regions are, and that's where they're from. So I've had cigars with those particular grow regions in them before, and they were fantastic cigars, and I love them. So we're going to give this one a try. The wrapper, like I said, isn't seamless by any means. It does have a few veins, and it does appear to be slightly toothy, but it's a beautiful shade on it. I love that shade of the Connecticut. That's a really nice shade. A little lumpy on the outside, but like I said, I don't think it's going to affect anything. Firm throughout. I'm not feeling any difference. I love that it is triple capped, because sometimes I'm not great with cutting, and sometimes I mess that up, but nevertheless, let's see what it's all about. Immediate sweet tobacco on the wrapper. Now they have a Connecticut Shade, and then they have a sweet Connecticut as well, and this is the Connecticut Shade, just to verify, knowing that it smells like a sweet wrapper on it. Very light, a little earthy. Again, sweet tobacco, almost like a candied tobacco. I'm gonna have to verify and make sure this isn't the sweet Connecticut. I'm pretty sure it's not. But... Little barnyard, little sweet hay there. Mainly sweet tobacco though. So I'm gonna get my stuff around. You guys hang out, and we're gonna come back with the cut. Stick around. All right, guys, welcome back. I had to adjust my camera if you didn't notice. So we're coming back with the cut here. Let me get some stuff out of the way. I want to throw this out there real quick. Take a look at this. This is some information. Once it focuses. The original Weston tobacco, established 2010, I believe that says. Yep. This is some of their other information here. There it is. So, check that out. I'm going to leave a link in the description below as well. But today, cut's coming to you courtesy of Calibre. Guillotine. Guillotine. So I had a subscriber and a good friend of mine call me out on my pronunciation of guillotine. So this is for you. Guillotine. Two blades coming together makes the guillotine cut. Not the guillotine, the guillotine. Let's cut this bad boy. 3 caps. I'm super psyched about this. I think it's going to be a pretty decent cut. Not too bad. Get that dust out of there. Actually, not that much. Which is pretty cool. Oh my. Right off the cold draw, raisin oatmeal cookie. I had never, that's the only thing I can think of is a raisin oatmeal cookie. As I was cold drawing, I'm trying to think, what is that flavor? Raisin oatmeal cookie. Wow. That's pretty cool. That is really, I've never tasted that. A little bit of barnyard, a little bitter on the cap. I'm not sure what they're using to like glue the cap, whether it's the potato glue or what, but that's really neat. I'm excited about this. Today, we're using the Rockwell free lighter. Turn that down a little bit. It's a little too high. I was smoking in the wind the other day, so I had my lighter turned up pretty high. We'll get this thing lit. Guys, at this time, I'd like to take the time to say thank you to all my subscribers thus far. And if you're considering subscribing, if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel. We try to bring you as good a cigar content as I possibly can. And I'm a working dad, so I upload whenever I get a chance to. Got to speak with William Fox, who was our winner of the Don Salvador Humidor today. He received his package and he absolutely loves it. So pretty pumped about that. Says he really likes it. It's gorgeous, actually, I think is what he said. If you want to skip through any of this, feel free to do so. Go down to the description below. You'll find timestamps for every part of this video, including the pre-cut, or the pre-light, the cut, the cold draw, the light, the first draw, first third, second third, and final third, and the overall review. Check it out. So, I think we got this pretty well lit. Light to medium body, right off the bat. Got that hay, Barnyard. Just a little bit of pepper there on the late finish, which is kind of cool. Not too often you get that in Connecticut. A little bit of the oatmeal. But listen, guys, I'm going to smoke this down into the second third, and we'll come back for the first third review. Stick around. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm not quite into the second third yet. I still got a little bit of room to work. But I wanted to talk to you about an update on the cigar itself as far as the information on the cigar. Now, I should have probably done this before I started the review, but I figured I'd wing it and see what happens. But I wanted more information. I read all the information I could online, but I wanted more. So I called Weston Cigars, or Weston Tobaccos in Weston, Missouri. And I spoke with a fellow by the name of Zeb Hopper. Now, he is part of the family that started the cigars, started the tobacco, Weston Tobaccos. So he is help running the place now, and a really cool dude, and I'm super happy that I got to talk to him, and he's down to earth. And if you have any questions about their cigars, call and ask. They're more than happy to help you out on them and to tell you about them. Customer review right now, phenomenal. They're great. You won't find a more helpful person right now. I asked them about their grow regions and how they're getting their tobacco and whatnot. And he said that they're getting it from a large manufacturer, would not release which one, which, you know, come to think of it, I didn't really ask him either, so he may have told me, but I just didn't ask him. Getting them from a large manufacturer, and what that does is it gives them consistency and the highest quality tobacco possible. And I'm thinking, you know, who's rolling these cigars for them? Is it like AJ Fernandez or something like that? No. They're rolling these themselves, and they're selling them. And they're awesome. The construction is great, guys. These are quality cigars. These are $10 cigars. These should be $10. They're not. They're less than that. For the ones I got, I think they're right around the $6 range. So my confusion before was the sweet Connecticut versus the Connecticut and the Maduro versus the sweet Maduro, because online I can only find the Maduro, the sweet Connecticut, and the Connecticut, and they have a Habano online as well. But there was no sweet Maduro, so I asked them about it. He said that's kind of like a prototype right now, and that they're not in full production yet, but they're having awesome following on it, and everybody's loving them and buying them up like crazy. So the sweet Maduro is something that is going to be coming out on their website very shortly, so make sure you keep checking in for those. Or if you're local to the Weston, Missouri area and you haven't tried these, shame on you. Go try them. Go grab one. This is the Connecticut Shade, however, and like I said, Zeb was just a really down-to-earth guy, and you know, you talk to some of these people and you don't really have a rapport with them because their heads are in the clouds, because, you know, we own a cigar company and we're so big and everything else. And Zeb was just the opposite of that. He seemed like a very down-to-earth guy and very nice, and I'm going to send him the review, and hopefully we can link something up with him and cross over there. But for right now, guys, it's a really great Connecticut. This is probably, in my opinion, probably one of the better Connecticut's that I've had thus far in my cigar career. So, and I'm only in the first third, and the flavors are great. I'm not going to cover the flavors yet. We'll come back to that whenever I do my first third review. So, guys, for now, stick around. I'm not sure what you guys are smoking tonight or what you're pairing with, but I wanted to pair with just some regular water, so that I got all the flavors out of the cigar that I possibly could. So, stick around, and we'll be back for the first third review. Okay, guys, welcome back. We're finally ready for the first third review. I'm going to give you a hint. I really like it. Guys, it's a pretty cool cigar. I like it. It's made in the U.S. I mean, I guess not. It's rolled in the U.S. It's a U.S. company, which I have no problems. obviously with out of U.S. companies, because some of the best cigars come from out of the States companies. But this cigar is a great cigar, guys. Yeah, so as you can see, I have a really even burn. I got a little bit of a right there, but pretty much a pretty good burn. The black line on it is pretty thin, so it's burning fairly decently slow. The ash is holding on for dear life. I don't believe it's going to go anywhere. As you can tell, it did get knocked off. That was because I was very inconsiderate with my cigar, putting it down a little bit ago, and I knocked it off. But the ash is holding on great. The tobacco in it is quality tobacco. You can taste the quality tobacco in it. I'm gonna have to look at my notes here because I'm not very good at remembering stuff. But so on the beginning of it, I had the oatmeal raisin cookies still a little bit on the cigar, followed by, if you guys have ever had the Drew Estates My Uzi Weighs a Ton Kentucky Fire Cured cigars, I had that little bit of like barbecue-y taste right after that oatmeal taste, and it just sat in my mouth for just a little bit and then it was gone. But it's a super creamy, buttery cigar, and it leaves a coating on the inside of your mouth. And at the late finish, it's like a peppery, peaty flavor, and I really like the peppery flavor in cigars, as you guys know. Towards the end, I still had that little bit of that structure fire barbecue-y taste, and then I also had a hint of cocoa on the retro, which is pretty cool. And I still, like, as the last time I took a puff off of this was probably a good 2 minutes ago, and I still have that peaty flavor lingering in my mouth, and it's just coating the inside of my mouth, which is really, really nice. And yeah, buttery, creamy, good cigar so far. So guys, that's my take on the first third of this cigar. I'm gonna smoke it down to the final third, and I'll come back for the second third review. You guys stick around. Alright guys, welcome back. I'm into the final third now, which that means we're bringing you the second third review. Okay, where do I start with this second third review? This thing absolutely bloomed in flavor in the second third. What I thought was a light flavored cigar is now becoming more of the medium. Now don't get that confused with the body or the strength. The strength is like how strong it is in the nicotine department, how much it makes you kind of... The body is the smoke output. Solid, medium bodied as well, but we're into more of the light to medium body, more medium body flavor now. Absolutely bloom. There's so many flavors on the second third that obviously I have to reference what I wrote down because I can't remember them all. So let's start off. Right after the first third review, when I started smoking this again, it was like a almost, I don't know what you want to call it, like a line that was drawn that like this was the first third and right now we're starting into the second third, and it was cool. I got coffee on the retro, white toast, hay, sweet tobacco, pepper, and that peaty flavor still covers my mouth completely. Creamy, solid medium body, like I said, light to medium flavors. The smoke is what I wanted to note this. The smoke is so consistent. I'll have cigars where I'll take a puff and then I'll put it down, and the smoke like dissipates so quickly that like whenever I go to take another puff, I have to take like a puff and then another puff to get that smoke back. The smoke is so consistent on this, and it's awesome. The smoke is great. One thing that hit me about halfway through that really hit me right in the feels was the smell coming from the cigar. Now, I grew up not around cigars. Nobody in my family ever smoked cigars, so I didn't really smell cigars ever. But one thing that I smelled in this was, it's kind of odd, but it reminded me of my hunting camp whenever I was very, very small. Like, 8, 9, 10 years old, we had this hunting camp that we went to every year, and it was just the coolest experience to hang out with all the older people in the family, all the older guys, and it was kind of like guys time. And I got like that wood burner smell, and just like there was always some sort of soup sitting on top of the wood burner that we would eat all week, and just the smells that I got out of the cigar really brought me back to that place in my youth where I smelled those things, and it really reminded me of my family and everything else, and it just hit me right in the feels. This one did. I got a slight cedar there towards the end of it, not too much, which I'm okay with. I didn't get a whole lot of cedar throughout the cigar so far, if any, and I got that little bit right at the end of the second third. So guys, this is a great cigar so far. This is what I'm referring to as a class act cigar, and it didn't come with a band on it. You can see what the bands look like online. I'm not exactly sure why there was no band on it, but you can see what the bands look like online. They're pretty nice bands as well, but you can't smoke a band, so I'm fine with it not being on there. But man, what a great cigar so far, guys. I hope that this helps you guys, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. You can click down here in the corner, click the little cigar, or you can go down below right here and click subscribe. Turn on the notifications as well so you're up to date on every single video that we put out. Guys, I'm going to smoke this through the final third, and I'll be back to you with the final third review. Stick around. Okay guys, welcome back. It's out. It's finally out, and I'm ready for my final third and then my final review of the cigar. Now I'm going to give you an actual final review of the cigar because this is like the first cigar of this type that I've smoked from this company. I've never smoked anything from this company before, and I'm pretty excited about it. So let's start off with the final review. So on the final review, things didn't necessarily go downhill, but they didn't improve at all. So we just kind of stayed even kiln. Yeah. So it actually got a little bitter towards the end, and it didn't heat up. Don't get me wrong, it didn't heat up and make it bitter. It just got slightly bitter, and I'm not sure what caused that, but it just got slightly bitter. I mean, some people are into that, I've seen, but particularly I'm not. I did have one change on the final third, and that was a little nutty on the retro. I did lose some flavors. That coffee was gone. The white toast stayed prominent, but I still had the pepper as well as the peaty flavor that was covering my mouth. Still stayed a creamy cigar. The smoke in the construction is so consistent on this cigar. There wasn't one part or another that smoked faster or that burnt through quicker. It was so consistent. The burn was consistent, and you could tell that they used premium tobacco in this cigar. It's a really, really great cigar. So not too much different on the final third other than those couple of things. And that was pretty quick for the final third review. The overall review. Okay, so the pre-light, I gave a 4.0, and you guys know my point system from pre-light, cut, cold draw, light, first draw, first third, second third, and final third for a total points of possible 40. Each one of those categories being worth approximately 5 points, or at least 5 points or less. So the pre-light I gave a 4.0. I enjoyed how light the wrapper was and the flavors that came from that wrapper itself, how I got those more of a non-Connecticut taste out of those, such as the pepper that you don't really get in Connecticut's too much. I gave that a 4.0. The cut, I gave a 4.0 as well. The only reason why I didn't get any more, and I'll show you here if you can see, is there's a little bit of cavitation on the back. The tobacco wasn't directly up to the back of the cigar, so to the cap of the cigar. So there's a little bit of air gap in there. Now it didn't change the quality. The draw on this was perfect. It was my perfect draw, and I gave the cold draw 4.5 because of that, on top of the flavors that I got out of the cold draw, which was the oatmeal raisin cookie, which I've never gotten on any cigar ever. So I really enjoyed that. The light was good. I gave it 4.0. The only reason I didn't give it more was because, as you saw in the video, I had to kind of light it a little bit more whenever I thought that I had it lit. It wasn't completely lit yet, and I had to keep going. The first draw, I gave a 3.6 just because of how not so many flavors there were on that. First third, I got a 3.8, and that was again because I didn't get a crap ton of flavors out of it. And I am looking at this cigar as like a premium. I paid $20 for this cigar. That's the way I'm looking at this cigar right now. And that's the way that I rated it, was for that. My second third, I gave a 4.2, and that was because of all the flavors that I got out of it. It really bloomed in the second third, and I got all the coffee notes, the white toast, the hay, the barnyard. I got the peaty, the pepper, the sweet tobacco, very creamy, very buttery cigar. The final third, I gave a 3.7, only because I had lost some flavors, and then I gained that bitterness, which I wasn't too keen on. But if you are, that's a good cigar for you. So overall, I got a 31.8 out of a cigar manufacturer that I have personally never heard of, which, don't like take that the wrong way, because I am like only a couple of years into smoking cigars. Now, I do smoke an absolute crap ton of cigars, usually 2 to 3 a day. So I'm always looking for better, the next biggest and better thing. So I'm hoping that this Sweet Maduro that I have is just as good as this Connecticut. This Connecticut, I will say, in my personal opinion, I think is equal to or better than, you know what, I'm going to say better than the Nub Connecticut that I had a couple of reviews ago. And the reason being because that Nub Connecticut, yeah, it was a neat cigar, and it had some awesome flavors to it, but it did not have the complexity that this cigar has. And, I mean, I'm sure Nub, with the, I believe it's manufactured by the Olivia company, I'm sure that they use premium tobacco, and I'm not sure what the grow areas are, or the grow regions are that they get them from, but Weston tobaccos have like hit the nail on the head with their grow regions on this particular cigar. So really happy about it, and I'm gonna recommend this to everybody. Okay, I'm gonna get some more of these and keep them in my humidor just because they're so freaking good. I don't think that this would be a good morning or a good nightcap cigar like some Connecticut's would be, but I think that this is a good, you know, throughout the day cigar. If you're going to sit down and have a couple hours to enjoy, and I'm just super happy with it. I think it was an absolute great cigar. So, with that being said, my final review is a 31.8 out of a possible 40 points on this cigar. And guys, I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching the video. I know this is going to be kind of a long-winded one, and that's only because of the cigar that I'm doing, and it's kind of like the first time, and I had such a good interaction with Zeb that I wanted to give a better review than my normal review on these, just because he was so good to me and he was so nice and everything. So that's why it's so long. Guys, I want you to click subscribe down here in the corner or down below. Turn on the notifications so you're up to date on every single video that I put out. And that's important because we do giveaways. And I've already done one so far, and we're relatively new in the cigar review world, but I did do one, and the guy that got the travel humidor is completely ecstatic about it, and he loves it. And I want to see that, you know, for everybody else as well, guys. We're going to do some informative videos coming up here soon, so make sure that you stick around for that sort of thing as well if you're into that. Like I said, thanks for everybody that has subscribed, and please consider subscribing to the channel, guys. Until I get to see you again on the next video, stay smoky.